to my kitchen. Please like, share, and subscribe. Today we are going to be making a cashew cream yogurt. This is for people who may have lactose intolerance or just want to try something a little different. And to start, we're going to make our cashew milk. Now normally when I make cashew milk, I use 4 to 5 cups of water to a cup of nuts that have been soaked. But because I'm going to make yogurt, I want this to be a little thicker. I'm going to use 3 cups of water to 1 cup of nuts that have been soaked. Now these nuts have been soaking overnight, and the benefit of that is it makes them more soft, so they break up quickly. So let's turn around here to our blender. Let's go ahead and add fresh water to the 3 cup mark. There we go. All right, our cashew milk is finished, or our cashew cream. Let's go ahead and add this to our pot. Back here I have some small jars sterilizing. A lot of times when I make yogurt, I use a quart container, but today I decided I wanted to make some individual servings. So I'm going to be using some 4-ounce jars, and I'm also using some half-pint jars. So we have our burner on medium heat, and we're going to want to stir this a little bit because we don't want our cashew milk to stick. I've used almond milk. I've used a mixture of almond and oat milk. I find that the cashew milk is actually the creamiest. And so that's my favorite. I'm actually going to put this a little bit lower. I have this halfway between medium and low. I want it to get warm, but I don't want it to burn or stick on the bottom. All right, so in addition to our 3 cups of cashew milk, we're going to go ahead and add some honey. You could also use maple syrup. If you're a vegan, use maple syrup. And you don't actually have to add any sweetener to it at all. I find with the nut-based yogurts, I like to add a little bit of vanilla to them, whereas with the dairy yogurts, I like it just plain. See how good of a job I can do with this. Most of the time I try to use raw honey that I pick up at a local farmer's market. There's really no comparison to raw honey as far as the store-bought honey goes. You have to use what's available to you. Stir this a little bit so that it blends in. And let's come over here and see if you can get a look at what this is looking like. It's pretty amazing. I really love how creamy and rich cashew milk is. The next thing we're going to add is we're going to add some vanilla. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons. So what's different about the process when you're using a nut milk or even an oat milk to make a fermented type yogurt is you're going to have to add something to thicken it, because it's not going to thicken naturally in the fermenting process. So what we're actually going to use is some agar. And what agar is, it's a form of red algae which thickens with heat. So we'll take a half cup of water in a sauce pot. We'll add a half teaspoon of our agar, and we'll get that hot. We won't boil it. We'll get it just short of boiling. And then once the agar is dissolved, we'll go ahead and add that into our cashew nut mixture. And we're going to want to heat our cashew milk until it gets to be 170 degrees. I find a candy thermometer to be really useful for that purpose. And again, the purpose of heating this is just rid of any risk of bacteria contamination. So similar to the yogurt making process with dairy, we're also going to get our cashew milk mixture heated, and then we're going to cool it down because we don't want to kill the probiotic that we're going to be adding to our milk mixture. Now we have a choice when we're fermenting our yogurt. We can either put it in the dehydrator setting in the oven at a low temperature or any dehydrator, or we can use our Instapot and put it on the yogurt setting. And I think most electric pressure cookers now have a yogurt setting. And today, since I'm using these little short jars to make individual serving sizes, I am going to use the dehydrator. When you do the Instapot, you add water to the bottom of it, and I wouldn't want it to overflow the top of my jars. Okay, we're up to 140. We're getting close. Turn our back burner on. Let's go ahead and add our ½ cup of water to our little sauce pot. And let's measure our agar. ½ teaspoon. And I'm going to be using a whisk for this part. And let's go ahead and turn this on a low setting. All right, and I'm going to turn this down also to a low setting. So I can tell it's trying to stick on the bottom. If for some reason your cashew milk gets too hot and sticks on the bottom, don't scrape the bottom when you add it into your jars. All right, we are up to temperature back here. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this back burner off. We want to get this just hot enough, just short of coming to a boil. So we'll be cooking the agar, and as that cools, that will thicken our cashew milk. Now we are going to be fermenting this. We're going to use a probiotic capsule dissolved in water for that purpose. And today I only have this probiotic capsule. I have another brand that I prefer. And so I'll be linking in to the description of this video some resources for probiotic capsules that I've used before. This is a good brand, but it's only one strain. I have another brand that has multiple strains of probiotics, but I'm one of those practical girls. I use what I have. Our agar has come up to temperature. Let's go ahead and shut this off. And we're going to add our agar and water mixture into our cashew milk. So now that we've added our agar in and we've mixed it in, we want the temperature of this to come down to around 100 degrees. Our cashew milk mixture has cooled down to 100 degrees. Let's go ahead and turn our dehydrator on to 108. And now let's go ahead and add our probiotic that's been dissolving into our milk mixture. And let's go ahead and start adding our cashew mixture into our jars. I think it's going to be really fun to have these little single serving jars. This has a texture of gravy right now, thick gravy. So our agar is starting to thicken, and it will continue to thicken as we do the fermenting process in our dehydrator. Let's just add a little more to each of these jars. Let's not waste. Let's get as much of this out as we can. Let you see how the jars look like. Let's go ahead and put our jars in the oven now. And I find a baking sheet the easiest way to pull this off. We're going to let this process for at least 12 hours up to about 24 hours. So in the morning I'll come back and we'll check our jars to see how they're doing. But for now, let's go ahead and try and taste this little bit that's left in our pot. It's a perfect amount of honey and vanilla. See you in the morning. Good morning. Our cashew cream yogurt has been processing overnight. Let's go ahead and pull it out. This looks really delicious. It actually has a real custard look to it. Let's turn this over so you can see. I'm pretty excited to try this. Okay, here it goes. It's got a little bit of a crusted texture on the surface of it because we did the dehydrator. Wow, this actually tastes like creme brulee. It's pretty amazing. I really love this. I feel like there are a lot of possibilities with this as far as things that we can do that are more along the vegan, vegetarian path. This tastes really great. I hope you enjoyed making cashew cream yogurt with me. Thanks for watching.